Test. Ah, no. Okay. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. I've been talking to myself for 10 minutes now. As Bimbo goes into P5. Yeah, I don't know why it just resets everything. I just closed the thing after last week, just and would normally do. So, yeah, I'm really sorry for that. If you missed the comments on that. Okay, we're back with some words for myself. Let's start all over again. My name is 726. I welcome you to tonight's Realistic Performance Championship race number 3 out of 5 in Monza. And of course, it's the LRC as you're watching right now on this channel. And Bimpo is heavily cutting everything in the second sector. We have seen 30 minutes of action at the moment. It's very closely matched, as you can see in the midfield. The top 4 guys are set at the moment as well. 6 minutes to go. We have 4 drivers in the drop zone, and one of them is Tim Bleich, who's currently on his first attempt. We saw a very precarious moment for Blazer, who was heavily impeded by the Williams of Phil Malone, as we just seen an improvement for Fazri, who just put in a 20.1. Feel free to mention many times that Aero crashed in Parabolica last season. Okay, thank you very much, I will do that. We watched Tim Leitch cross the line now. His first attempt will put him P8, and that is a 20.2 for the moment. And judging by how close it is, I wouldn't say that's even safe at this time. We got most of the cars inside the pits. Penny is also one of them now, as he aborts his second attempt tonight. And we got more drivers on the track, as his teammate is trying to get out of the drop zone and is willing to put in an effort that is without traffic, at least he hopes. We got more people coming out of the pits as he takes a very wide line across the Ascari gravel trap. And I hope he has cleaned his tires to start his lap now. Let's go on board with the Mercedes to see a lap around the famous Autodromo di Nazionale Monza, the Temple of Speed with the Mercedes of Babs. Let's go blasting onto the main straight. We are reaching about 350, maybe 360 if you're lucky with your setup. 100 meter braking point into the first chicane. We got a second gear for both turn and exit, and then he's a bit loose on the grass there, but that should be fine at the moment. And there's a wonderful curve, Cova Granda, who is into the end of the first sector, and he's currently slotting an improvement of 3/10 as he exits the second chicane of this track into Lesmo 1, a very slightly banked corner that is followed up with Lesmo 2. That's very tricky on the outside. You have to make sure you don't crash your car with high fuel, or you don't invalidate your lap time in qualifying. Now we have the second sector completed, and we drive into the Ascari chicane, the only real part that requires downforce, and he's very loose there, and he aborts this lap. So we will see if he is attempting to do another try right after this one, as Phil is on a lap now. Let's see who else is. Lellen is directly in front of them. That is probably not gonna be to anyone's liking, as we see. Let's see if perhaps restarts. Yeah, perhaps it's restarting. No, don't. Okay. I'm sorry, Iro. But I think LRC is the boss here, whoever runs the account at the moment. Or has just typed in the message. Ashima is also on a flying lap, but he's very far behind the other two. I'll just go to Phil to see how much of an advantage he may pull on the straight. 2 minutes. You have to be out soon to complete another run. The top 5 have at the moment stayed in so far, which is understandable. They are seemingly off the drop zone. Leland can't improve, but Phil can. He's very close to him now, not only on track but in terms of time. And Hashima, the teammate to the current P1 sitter, is now into a 20.5 and improves by some places now. Perhaps is completing his run. That is not enough to get out of the drop zone. 20.7. Somewhat of a very realistic simulation regarding the current performance of Mercedes inside the Miami Grand Prix. And we get a 5-place grid penalty for Lennon for blocking. He is causing a yellow flag at the moment. And Phil has been affected by that, and he is just cruising behind. Aero is starting a flying lap now. Is Penny completing one? Yes, he is. And he puts it into P4. That's a 20.0 for him now. That should be safe. That should be the saving grace for him. Soxon just started his lap. His teammate Arch is just about to complete one. There's a Williams in front of him that slings. He is just starting his lap, but Arch has completed his, is into P12 now. That's a 20.4. Very good effort there. We got slow cars in the last sector. Nuclear has retired on the straight. Yeah, seems like he has. Yeah, in front, just in front. Coolest has. Oh, Hashima is retired. On the outside of Parabolica, Takeshi Gatashi. The Alpine has been removed. Let's see who else is on a lap. Got a Aero is coming next. AP3, me best, me champion. There's still some qualifying segments to go, Blazer. Aero can't improve. He will stay at maximum P8. Soxer is the last to complete a lap now. He only goes to P18. Disaster. Is that a new Stroll performance? We got Slings, who is pulling into the pit lane. Teammate of Soxon Arch has an invalidated lap time. Penny is on an in lap as well. Lellen. Is there time to be found by the only Red Bull tonight? There is! He goes into P1 at the end of Q1. That's just ahead of Loris as Bimpo goes into 4th on also a 20.0. And then we had Coolest, who has invalidated the lap time and is the only driver who was, some sort of in the running to beat the guys in front and finish inside a position that would guarantee him Q2, but that has not happened as he is just spinning his rears and giving us some donuts. So we are down by 4. And these 4 are both Hasses. Nuclear with a 20.6. Coolest with a 20.9. Perhaps in 17th with a 20.7. And Mr. Soxon 20.8 in P18. I am here for the closeness of the top guys. Like look at the gaps. P15 to P11, which is the next shooter session, is roughly 2.5 tenths. 2.5 tenths is the top 8 alone in the first part of qualifying, so that is something. Yeah, I forgot Hashima is also out of the session because he crashed. So we got 4 people to be eliminated. And currently the 2 rims are not looking strong enough. I wonder if these people are really from the countries they are representing. Because it says that Leland is from Italy. There's still no shortcut for fucking track map. Yeah. Because I know in my league we had a rule where you could just take anything you wanted. Most of them have gone back to German, but not all of them. So if there was like someone from Bahrain, Pakistan, Bulgaria, Switzerland, Germany, Finland, Norway, England, the world. That's Slinks, I think. Lennon is the first driver out. No, he's not. Sorry. Bimbo is. Who's just been overtaken by Phil. Everyone is on the soft tire. For their first run. It's still overcast. So we are maybe still in a transition phase to warmer weather or maybe to rain. But not everyone immediately went out of the pits at the start of Q1, and that is the same case for Q2 as well. It's split half and half, I would say. Okay, since we missed it, because I should have maybe double checked if my microphone was activated, we will be looking on board with Phil Malone and his Williams to see a lap around the Autodromo d'Italia Monza. 10 below speed. Activating the DRS on the main straight, blasting up to around 350 kph, hitting the brakes at 100 meters, turning in with second gear for both turns, and then accelerate out and onto the Cova Granda. Beautiful, long-lasting turn that is also leading into the end of the first sector, as he is riding the inside curb of turn number 4 and the second chicane. We are into Lesmo 1, very important to get the entry right there. And here on Lesmo 2 you need to have as much confidence as you can get to not overshoot the corner and invalidate it in qualifying or crash it in the race. And he has done that to a margin. He is into Ascari now. His car seems to be a bit loose on turn in, and he has managed to complete Ascari without crashing or an invalidation as well. He's into the last corner, that's Parabolica, and you just need to hang in there. And now he's moving across the line to complete first lap of the session. It's a 20.9 for the Williams. And we have both Alvatauris in a shot right now, as Bimpo is about to finish his first lap. So is Elias. He goes 8 tenths ahead of Phil, and his teammate is only a tenth behind. Next is Leland, who has received a 5th-place grid drop, who puts in a 20.5. Next is Penny, the only Mercedes left in this session. And he crosses the line to put it into P2 with a 20.2. Very good effort. And Slinks is the next car on 20.8. And Alfa Romeo of Afasri. I'm sorry, that just completely fucks me in my mind. Blazer goes into P1, 3/10 ahead of Bimpo. And there's also Ferrari behind, but I just coming out of the pitches trimmer shave, okay. So Tateshi is about to finish his lap. No, he will not. He will peer into the bits. And we got both Arch and Loris on a lap. Let's see what the IP driver can do. There's a bit of a slipstream coming from 3rd place Penny at the moment. There's a bit of lagging going on. Let's hope that does not affect the race. He is about to cross the line and goes into P2 on also a 19.8. It blazes into the pits as well. And Arch is about to finish his first lap. He goes very close to the line as he should, and it's a 20.4, 7 thousandths behind the Alfa Romeo in front, and there is the home favorite Ferrari team in Tremeshev. He's also starting his lap currently in the drop zone, as only 4 rows will be eliminated, and at the moment that's both Ferraris. Aero in the Alfa Romeo. Oh, that's very deep from Timashev. And Kadeshi also out of Q2 at the moment. We have 8 minutes to go. Plenty of time to set a lap time that's fast enough to go into the final qualifying segment. I would assume you should achieve a 20.4 at least to do that. And we now got Kimi, who's joining us late. That's the 2nd Red Bull. And I thought I just saw a raindrop there. Still overcast. So if there's rain, it might be happening anytime. Trebashev into the final corner. Kateshi about to start his lap. Loris is in, as is Arch now. Only 2 drivers on the track. What can he achieve? Goes across the line. 20.5 ahead of Lelin, and that is a good first attempt. But we might need a second run to confirm a spot. Go to Kateshi. Hey, fuck's sake. He's approaching the Parabolica to complete his first run in this Q2 with 6 minutes to go. Timbershev on and in lap, Aero and Timberleich on and out lap. And Kadeshi is currently not safe as he only puts it into P11 on a 20.8. And he is over a second behind his teammate. And I've noticed that Timberleich only likes to go out for one try. He did the same last time out at the what the fuck? Portugal Grand Prix. But I want to say the other word. Portuguese. What the fuck? I'm not having a stroke, I promise. Second Ferrari in P14 at the moment with no time set. And 5 minutes to go. Is currently going down the main straight. To achieve a time that is fast enough for the top 10 at the end of the session. So he can fight it out for pole with 9 other drivers. Out of less than 2 into the braking zone or Scary. And he is invalidated this time. And that will probably result in a pit stop. Says he's still in the break. So he's doing another cooldown. Okay, let's go to Aero who's about to finish his lap. What can he do? P5. Also 20.2. Good effort. He's out on an out lap. No one else is on the fly at the moment. As Phil starts his lap now. I'm surprised that Loris is on a second attempt. And I'm surprised both Alpha Tauris are also out into the open. To be honest, I think they are through anyway. Like 20.5 at least. For Q3 as Timberleich now has at a very slow 33.8. And Phil is about to finish his lap onto this back straight. It's very crucial to prepare your lap, but at this stage sets you up for the braking zone of Parabolica. He crosses the line on his probably final attempt. He goes into P7. Good effort from the Williams driver on a 20.3 and is currently also ahead of his teammate who is in the drop zone now. He's about to start his lap. And the next guy is Trimmer Shave at risk. Only a couple of thousands out of Lellen. can be knocked out by 4 people behind him. Goes across the line. P3 20.0. Tim Bleich has not invalidated again. Same set of tires. Only P12, and that might spell disaster for him, as his 20.699 is not fast enough to get out of the drop zone in Q2. And currently at risk is Arch, who just improves to P4 as well. 20.0. We got here Aero. Aero goes into P3 and is now passed by Loris. And there's Leland next. No, he pits into pits. Leland is also out of the session. Slings next to cross the line. Can both Williams get through? Because Tim is certainly out. And he can! Lynx is through! Where's Kateshi? Afazri is out. Leland and Tim Bleicher. Kateshi, if he can improve, he will kick out Phil at the last moment. And he goes into P2. What a lap! Phil is out. Phil is out. And look at who is in P10. Elias, who I thought was easily through. But turns out the drop of time is a 120.273 actually to be dropped out. And that has not happened for him. And we got 3 drivers on a 90.8. One is very close behind on a 0.9. And also 3 on a 0.0. This field is close together. There you have it once more. Blazer leads Kateshi at the end of Q2 as Phil Afasri, Leland and Tim Bleich are out. And that means there's no home favorite into Q3. Yeah, let's see what the next 12 minutes bring, if they bring rain or anything. Because there were droplets to be seen. Let's get a quick audio check here, maybe. Okay. So I wanted to make sure I wasn't talking to myself again. And there's nothing for that. And the map is still there. Okay. So I am somewhat surprised by the top 4, but not at the same time. Like, there was a very close competition with Loris and Bimpo last time out. Blazer had missed out. on a pole position last time. And I'm not so sure where the second Aston Martin was, because I think Toxon was out last time as well. Yeah. Yeah, my money is currently on Blazer to get pole position. I think Bimbo seems to be a bit off the pace, but just the margin is very closely packed this field at the moment. So I would say Blazer, Loris, and then it's Bimbo at the moment. Make the top 3. Still overgassed. No change of conditions. So we come across the start-finish line now with Kadeshi to start his first attempt here in Q3. We got roughly 9 minutes and 30 seconds to go. And apart from Aero, everyone is currently out on track. 3 people have started their hot laps. That might be a tad too aggressive on the right hand side curb there. And maybe that is time to be found on his second run in Q3 as he's approaching the Ascari chicane now. As we have no reference. Oh, and he has invalidated his lap time. As it's very late to see his perspective right now. I don't know why I always get this camera. This camera was already bullshit before the Halo was brought into the sport, so... Slinks is the first to cross the line with a lap time, and it's a 20.5 as a benchmark. Oh, sorry, wrong guy. And that is being beaten by 9/10 from Elias. We need a mod to delete the spam, please. Penny is the third car to cross the line. Is 3/10 of Elias at the moment. And now we got Bimpo. And he's into P1 by a 10th. And takes P1 of his teammate. Now Blazer. He is currently in P3 with a 19.7. That's probably underused. And then Loris. Loris? Loris? Loris. Norris. Where's double R? Oh, was that invalid? No, it's just delayed. 1,000 of a second in front of Elias. His trimmer shape goes into P6. Very tightly and closely matched. As Kadeshi is the only driver at the moment from the guys who were out on track so far on hot lap as well to not complete and set a valid time, but there's Arch into P7 as he's just crossed the line to put in a 20.4. As Blazer is coming into the pits. And Slinks has left the session. That's unfortunate. Let's hope he can get back in. I can see that Hero is running the science livery on his helmet. Yeah, he's running the science helm. Hero starts his first attempt, maybe even his only. It's only 5.5 minutes to go. Aero is taking a very narrow line while going through Curva Granda. Seemed to be a bit deep into the first chicane, but that also can be and will probably link to poor connection here. So the outside seems a bit laggy. He has completed the first 2 sectors now and is wrestling the car to stay on track and avoid a invalidation. He moves and turns the car into the parabolic. Has a slight oversteer moment, maybe even a quite... Yeah, he thinks it's too heavy. He lost so much time and there are only so few minutes left that it is best to give it a proper final go with enough time on the board rather than just finishing a mediocre lap and not improving. I'm not so sure who has the lobby host, but whoever that is might be not the best option. Though if all these people come from these different nations, then it's probably hard to find a very good host. As there are still no online server for this game available. Penny's the first out on track to complete his final run. And with 2 minutes and somewhat 40 seconds left, more cars have joined Penny on the track. They are themselves on an outlap, but Penny just finished this one and is on his final hot lap as everyone is now onto the track, the last car being Loris. And there's a huge traffic jam into the first corner, and there's a McLaren in the way, and it seemed to be Blazer, and that must have cost some... Yeah, Penny aborts the lap. Penny aborts the lap. Very, very unsportsmanlike error that happened there from Blazer. I hope it was not intentional, but I wouldn't assume it was. As the next guy is Arch to start his lap. That is quite an impeding. And the sole remaining Aston Martin in the session is starting his lap as Aero. And there's a 5-place grid penalty for Penny as he, just like Lelin, has blocked someone's path and will go back 5 places, and that is just another unfortunate message for the Mercedes driver, as he's just been blocked on his fast attempt. People are stacking up on the back straight to start their final lap. It's very close between the Alpine and the Mercedes. Unfortunately, I cannot see the time, and I hope that is fixed in the next game. It's 28 seconds, and everyone will cross the line to start their final attempt, and there's some sort of Romanian flag forming in the first corner. Arch lap seemed solid so far. It is still valid. Let's see what he can put on the board after that 20.4. He comes across the line and improves to a 20.0. And there's a DNF for one of our top guys, and that is Elias, who will not improve past P3, and everyone behind has the opportunity to strike and take that position off of him. Bimbo is currently on his fast attempt, which is at the moment also his last. The checkered flag is out, and the AlphaTauri will complete his final lap. Can he improve? He does by a 10th. There are more people behind. That slinks into P6. There's Blazer into P1, who takes provisional pole position. Trimmer Shave stays in P5. Kateshi is across the line, stays in 9th. And there's a Aero left, who has currently set no time, as Penny might have improved as well with a 19.9, just going across the line. And that seems to be pole position for Blazer. But if Aero has something in the back, he should pull it out now, because that is the final corner of this qualifying. He goes across the line. And apparently there was no time. P10. I didn't see there was any invalid lap time. So Penny goes 5 places back, as does Lillian. And Blazer, who has won last week's Grand Prix in Portugal, is now in front of Loris, then Bimbo, Elias who crashed, Trimmer Shave, Penny, Slinks, Arch, Kateshi, who was somewhat disappointed a bit in comparison, and Dario, who hasn't even set a time. Still no moderator to delete that message, unfortunately. Oh, I forgot if there was a break between the race or not. I just assume with no. I can see that Kimmy's hearts are in the pits. There's a formation lab, and we've just been... Yeah, no real information for me at the moment. I have the feeling. Okay, so look at them tires now. It's mediums and hards for most of them drivers. Only Mr. Toxon has opted for the softs, which is a fair strategy if you consider this to be having some safety cars, as he's just been removed from the formation lab and has probably had a collision, and there's a spin. Laurie spins into the second chicane. And I was trying to finish the sentence. Slink is also disqualified. There's some sort of a pile up now. Afasri. That's... Sorry about that name, it's just especially with the 5. Afar... Because that S is not there, I just always think it's Afari. Okay, some drivers have been now disqualified from the formation lab. I was trying to finish about the strategy that a high chance of safety car is probably in the air and maybe even rain. We got Hearts, as Elias has just been qualified as well. Elias teammate Bimpos on Hearts, as is Aero, as is Phil, Tim Bleich, Hashima, and also Coolers. The rest, apart from Soxon, is on the medium. And first drivers will park up now after this very chaotic formation lap, which seemed more like a real-life qualifying session to me. Oh, please don't let that be the camera. Laurisson was somewhat not, or somehow not disqualified. Okay, we will stick with this camera for now, I think. As we go to 5 red lights. And away we go for the Italian Grand Prix here in Monza tonight. And there's been some slotting in, but Bimpo is next to Blazer already. But the second starting phase, he's just next to Loris. There's some scrambling of positions. Behind that we got a yellow flag briefly, as Peps has moved down a couple of places. Nucleus up into 12. We got Aero, who's just passing Arch for 7th. No, that is Arch against Kateshi. Now there's Aero in the mix. He's on the inside of the Aston Martin on the harder tires. Kateshi is looking from behind to see how he can maybe capitalize off this situation. And Arch is passing Aero once again, and there's some scrambling going around behind that. We got Penny and Phil, who are also in there, and there's a crash. There's been a crash. Soxon is moving down Lellen. There's Hashima's going around. And there was also Tim Bleich briefly into a collision there. And Hashima is now into P20. I hope there's no damage to his car. As we cross the line for the first time, more yellow flags. Archer had to let someone by, and there's lots of action. There is Ayo with Kateshi again into the first chicane. Perhaps is battling Soxon into the first chicane as well. They're at the back of the field at the moment. There's been a huge gap at the moment. Yeah. Well, not 1 minute 26, but thank you, game. 4 times already. As they continue to battle. But now the Mercedes is ahead. Let's go to this one. And there's a 2-second gap between Aero and Slings. And there's a team internal pass from Elias onto Bimpo, who doesn't seem to be in his form tonight. And Penny takes Kateshi. And Kateshi moves down even more. He's now in the fight with Alpha. I'm just gonna call this name for you, I'm sorry. There's a slipstream fest and a half into turn 1 now. Zoris pulls out. It's very late, I have no idea if they touch really. The Alpine is now the new race leader as there's more bunching up and slipstreaming into the first chicane at the end of lap 3. DRS is enabled now, and there has been no opportunity for Blazer to attempt a repass on Norris at the end of the first sector. Some scrobbling going around here. That's Tim Bleich, and Soxon has passed perhaps once again. And Sergeant Arch has been going backwards from the start. Let's look at it. We went down 7 places. Hashima 6. These are currently the losers of the starting phase, as we have a tight one here with Set Arch. I think there's no pass coming right now, but there might be one. From Blazer onto Loris. There's everyone behind us. DRS now. Is Trimmer Shave close enough to Bimpo? I wouldn't say so, because there has been no overtake attempted. And I just realized Bimpo's also in the yard, so that was probably smart to swap the places. And there's even a bigger gap forming now, with 3 seconds between Alpha and Arch. And the arrow hasn't spun in the Parabolica just yet, as I was instructed to mention that a few times. Maybe we will see that happening soon, as Loris has passed Blazer. Not so sure if that was the smartest move, because there's not only now another slipstream festival, as Lelen has received a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, as the snake of cars. Oh, Blazer. Okay, that might have been a spectating bug due to the legs we are currently receiving. And there's a free wide battle into turn 1, and Elias takes 2 into 1, and Blazer lost out on that. And the new race leader is Elias in front of Loris and teammate Bimpo. Now slipstream out of Cova Grande into the second chicane. Oh, they touch, and it's very elbows out from Elias, but that has been a fair move. There's so much action going on. I'm sorry, I just can't catch that all by myself. We will look at tires later on again, as there is still this train with Penny and Aero forming in the midfield. They can't keep up with the top guys at the moment. There's no pass being attempted here now. There's more scrambling for position, as Bimpo is now side by side with Trimmershave, we can see there, while watching from the rear wing of his teammate, and he is pushed to the outside, and Trimmershave is offline and is totally out of position now, and he will be fuming at that move, because he was entitled to some space on the outside of Parabolica, and now it's just lost 3 positions and some valuable time as Loris attempts to pass Elias, and that has been completed. Tremashev is still in the DRS zone, which is good as Penny is continuing his battle with IO. Phil is in a DRS train as is Kadeshi, and then there's another gap to the cars behind with Alpha, Nuclear, and so on. There's also Kimi against perhaps Bleish, Soxon for P16, and there has been no change to the weather at the moment. Just a reminder, as Elias just takes the lead on lap 6 into the Ascari chicane once more. Just a reminder that the real life weather is the weather for this race, as Phil has passed AO. And there's a crash! And Kimi is out! Kimi is out! And there's a safety car! What happened to Kimi? He went off the track. Maybe there was a collision with someone. I'm not certain I've seen that correctly. And there are people peeling into the pits. Let's look at the tires. Bimper stayed out on his hards, as has Phil and IO. And I would assume Kulis would do so as well. He is continuing on. No idea why perhaps has continued his journey on the used mediums. That seems to be a bit of a mistake in my view. The hard tires can do the last remaining 18 full race laps, because we will resume racing on lap 9. And they can do that easily, so that seems to be the attempt of stretching the tire to medium soft maybe, but he can't and probably will not hold the gap on the older mediums to have some sort of decent pit window to go onto the softs. So Mercedes, I am questioning your strategy. What's going on there? It seemed like there was also another dot on the minimap going off the track, but I couldn't catch that in time. So maybe there actually was a collision. Because it seems like it was uncontrolled accident. Race director hasn't noted anything. Ashima, who was also in our hearts, decided to go to the softs, which currently tells me that he is unable to finish the race on this set of tire, and he will have to come in again. Or, if you have been clever enough with your tire selection beforehand, if you have the second hard available and you're currently at the back, switch to a soft tire and then come in at the end of this lap as well to put on new hards, and you've completed the ruling about using 2 different dry tire compounds before the end of the race, which is also the penultimate lap of the race, as you can't box and change tires on the last lap itself. We still have some gaps, as people have already formed a small queue at the front behind the safety car. 。 . 。  . 。 . 。 . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . 。 . 。 . . . . . . 。 . 。 If I was Hashima, I would have risked it with the mediums, maybe. The hards, had they used like 6 laps, I don't think they will do the distance, only if he's kind of saved them. And he's not doing my suggested strategy, so we will probably see him again into the pits quite soon. Probably in the same window when the top 5 will be pitting, since these are the only 5 drivers who have stayed out after the safety car has been called into action. And he's also very easy on the catch up with these tires, and fortunately he will be unable to put the best performance of them softs onto the race track at the moment, since he has already completed a 3rd lap, and that is very close to 6% of tire wear, probably over it already, as the safety car has speed into the pits now. And that means that Hashima second drop off zone for the tire is already started. Not what you want. Also, everyone's tires are very doable, so he has really outperformed everyone and passed people. Bimbo is the leading car, followed by Phil, Aero, Coolest, and Babs. He dictates the pace, sorry. And he has gone now, and they're blasting into the first turn. There's already a couple of cars next to each other. There was Loris currently briefly on the grass, and everyone is trying to find a braking spot into the first turn. There have been no rear-end collisions as of right now. Oh, there's a loose Mercedes of perhaps now. He's just been demoted to 7th already. Asashima is into P17 already, and there's Loris battling against Babs as well, and he has passed him into P7. The driver with the pit stop that is the furthest ahead is currently Elias, as Loris is trying to get a move on and is using a lot of battery to complete an overtake attempt on the cars in front of him. Coolest is on a hard tire from the start into the Ascar chicane. What a move from the Alpine! And there's a loose Kateshi at the exit of Ascari, and he had just been demoted to P16. This guy has not had the best race, as Blazer is now passing Coolest on the inside, and it is going downhill for the drivers who have stayed out, as Elias just passed Aero for P2, and now everyone with the fresh tires will try to outbrake. The guys are... Oh! What was that? Who was that? That was Penny! Penny into trimmer shave! Huge accident! But no wing has been chopped off. Loris has passed Phil before the second chicane. I can't verbally tell you how fucking frustrating these cameras are, as Nuclear just moved past perhaps and is now behind his teammate, who I'm hoping for the team's sake is letting it pass. Slinks is just received his treatment from Phil, and Loris has passed Aero. So Bimpo and Loris are the top 2 guys. For now, if you calculate that other people have to make pit stop, and Hashima is already into P11. Coolest has been passed now by more cars. that is Lelen and Nuclear and the Haas were not really decisive there what to do. Please don't drive in the back of your teammate. He kind of sticks the nose in between the gap between the cars. There's a very loose Alpha on the rear for the Alfa Romeo there as he tries to accelerate past the Haas of Coolers. Blazer has passed Phil. We're watching this on as Leland is moving out of the slipstream of Nuclear. There's been a pass at the front. I would assume that's team internal and strategy wise very important for Elias to move on and have Bimpo as his bumper. Not so sure if that works because there's already DRS. There's a lot of ERS usage from Loris. He has passed Bimpo, so what I just said is completely irrelevant. Slinks has passed the arrow, and Blazer is onto the back of the Alfa Romeos. I can't catch my breath here, really. They're still going at it. And the drivers who had to stay out will have a very... Loris just moves into the first place as he also passed the second Alpha Tauri, and that is a direct battle for P1 as they've both pitted already and there's some sort of carnage going on. Perhaps it's moving down even more. It's all mediums. My guy, you did this to yourself. Why haven't you pitted? Blazer is on the inside of that touch and he spun around. There's a collision. There was not enough space for both of them. And Blazers into P14. Disaster for the race lead winner from last time. Now there's more carnage behind. Ayo and Afar couldn't decide who needs to go next because of a yellow flag. Probably some illegal overtaking messages being sent out to the drivers. As Arch has set his sight on Kateshi ahead, but he is currently leading the third group of drivers as the top four have just checked out and Phil is 3 seconds behind them and is leading Lelen, Nuclear, Kateshi, and probably soon Arch, Coolest, Afar, Aero, Blazer, perhaps Hashima, and also Soxon and Bleich as Lamau, yes, also known as Elias, has just repassed Loris. And there's an attempt of Coolest on the inside. Has he gone too deep? A bit, maybe, yes. There's a duo of two hello, Alfa Romeo. The internal battle turns into a double overtake on Arch, who's now been demoted to 13th. He has just seen the worst turn one of the race probably so far. There's more carnage. Blazer's trying to make progression as he had just been in a collision with Aero, who is in front of him just a lap prior. We watched that. They parked up on the apex and they had to all scramble around them. There's huge legs at the back. Tim Bleich is also in there. Jesus Christ, my voice will be gone tomorrow. Kateshi gets a 3-second time penalty. Half the race distance is completed. That is already a huge problem because if there's another safety car, you will lose out because this pack has not enough pace differences for you to make moves and break the DRS train. There's a new repass. Attempt for Loris on Elias. He takes P1 away. Now Bimpo has passed Links because he had a small overcorrection into the first chicane. But there's plenty of space behind them. The next group is roughly 2.2 seconds behind. Afar has now cleared Coolest because there's a battle going on here. It's Aero, it's Coolest, it's Hashima into the next chicane. They're not free abreast, but it will be close. I fucking hate these cameras. What the fuck am I seeing here? I don't want to see the driver. It's more carnage behind. Blazer just moves past Penny. Bleich is into P11 on the outside of two guys after the chicane. And there's Arch battling. These legs are just horrendous. I can't see who's really spinning off. There's Soxon in there as well with Hashima and Penny. Now into the Ascari chicane. We still got the top two battling it out with Bimbo followed closely by Lynx. And there's the gap of Lelin, who has who broke the DRS to bubble behind. There's Bimbo into the pits. There's no sign that he's into the pits. Thank you very much, game. Really love that. Or maybe we need a new lobby host. And people are coming into the pits now. Coolest Aero. Hashima also because of a soft tire. We will look at that right now. Nuclear is now up into P5. What a race from this guy we're currently watching, but he is currently under pressure. As Loris has retaken the lead. They're close together into the second chicane. Now the Alpine is ahead again. And Nuclear is under pressure. He needs to be very mindful of what he's doing to his race now. Not every battle is worth fighting. This is good points for the team who has seemingly struggled so far in this championship series. And if you don't want to go out with 0 points, because every race counts in a 5-race short championship towards the end of the game cycle here, as we watch more people some sort of calm down now, as the DRS trains have been broken by people who just had to go to the pits. Hashima with a 3-second time penalty. He's actually out on a medium, which is surprising. My guy, you don't know how strategy works, I'm afraid. There's a pass of Arch against Blazer, it seems, and Elias has repassed Loris, as these two are probably battling it out until the end of time in this race. We will see that there's a 3-second time penalty for Kateshi again, who has just cut the first corner. It's very close between Blazer, who just repassed Arch. He's already blinking quite heavily. That obviously means his ERS is running low, and we can see that in the screen. It's on 3%, as Tim Bleich is pulled away from them. He has broken the DRS window. He has no threat from behind at the moment, and he is roughly 4.5 seconds behind the next car ahead. These groups that have battled and wasted everyone's time are now even more screwed because of people who kept them trains alive have pitted, and they're currently at the back. Arrow 17 perhaps is Blazer gets a 3-second time penny as well, as both McLarens don't have the best day in the office. And there's a repass from Loris on to Elias, and I'm not so sure how many more times we're gonna see this. Lelin is already into P4, by the way, and is battling with Takeshi, and Kateshi just passed the Red Bull there on the straight. Arch has repassed Blazer. Bimbo puts in the fastest lap. He's in P14 now. The gap to the leaders is roughly 22 seconds with 9 laps to go. That is the horror of a somewhat mid-safety car. If you start on a hard tire, you can't just go into the pits and put on a tire that is not even that long lasting. And there's a battle going on for P12 now with Trimmershave and Soxon. Trimmershave must be on the better tire, I would assume. No, they're both pitted under the safety car. Soxon was also on the soft tires at the start. He has currently made it to P12, which is a great effort by the second Aston Martin. And with penalties maybe coming towards other people in front of him, they could reward his efforts with points. There's no repass from Elias onto Loris. They're both on similar ERS at the moment. Oh! They crashed! There's been a crash into turn 1. The leaders have collided. Slinks has now capitalized off a spinning Loris. And Elias has just run into the back. At least it seemed like there was a lot of lagging going on. But the AlphaTauri has just continued. And the Alpine has been moved down to P3. Is not out of the race by any means. But that must be some sort of a shock, and maybe there's even damage to the rear of his car or even the side ports as Trimmershave now repasses Soxon. My voice is just what the fuck. I need to drink something here even if something happens now. Hey, poor exit. Soxon is happily taking that invitation from Trimmershave. And Elias is still ahead of Lynx by over a second. And the second group with Leland, who is following Takeshi closely behind, is now pulling out. And Soxon has spun! Soxon has spun at the exit of Parabolic. Has obviously repassed from Trimmershave. Leland takes P4 over Kateshi, who is currently with more penalties even behind him. There's Trimmershave into the pits. Probably a follow-up collision because of Soxon's spin. Leland is in front now. And Kateshi has to watch out for Nuclear. Ashima can't currently make huge steps towards the front. She's still down in 7/16. And Tim Blaze is battling with Arch. And Blazers also in there as well. Seems to be another attempt from Kateshi into the Ascari chicane. Leland leaves him space. Has the door open for him. And Bleish takes P8 from Arch. These drivers have been constantly battling each other throughout this race in very different groups of pace. Kateshi, who finished P4 last time, is currently under threat from Lennon as Loris has retaken Slinks and is into P2 again, and you will have a word with the current race leader as the AlphaTauri is blasting past the McLaren, it seems like, but he was more braver on the brakes, and there has been a collision. Alpha just turns into Nuclear, and at the same time he gets a 5-second time penalty after he spun the Haas half around and has lost the DS from that now. Also, Nuclear is out of the group with Kateshi and Leland, and the next 4 cars are knocking on the rear of the Alfa Romeo now as perhaps moves past Aero. And Bimpo has passed Bleish. Still using the ERS. He has to use it. They're still side by side. Bleish was even more ahead at that stage. But he's on a better tire, and somehow Lennon has just passed Kateshi, but I don't think that was the smartest move. Loris is into the DRS zone. Is there an overtaking opportunity for him into turn 1? Oh, that was a late move from Elias, and Laurie is probably thinking, what are you doing, you maniac? You just ran to the back of me. Why are you moving so late? And Slinks is watching this with delight because his Williams is fucking dog shit in this championship. We've seen it last time out in Portugal where Aero was very much important, and there's been another slight contact between the Alpine of Loris and the AlphaTauri of Elias, and Slinks is still looking to continue his great performance from the qualifying, converting it into a P3 finish. As we see No, it was Coolest against Perhaps. Sorry, I thought that was Hashima against Coolest. Oh, they're very closely matched. Is there an opportunity here for anyone? No, not at the moment. Loris is in the DRS window. There's a slipstream fast at the end of the Ascari chicane onto the Parabolica entrance, but you just don't want to pass people there because it's awkward to go side by side for the Parabolica. It's not awkward to go side by side on the main straight and make another easy pass. I don't know how many times I've seen Loris and Elias swap places this race alone. I'm so uncertain who can actually have the car in the right position at the end, at the last lap, to make sure he will finish at the top split of the podium. There's another spin for Blazer. There's been another spin, a slight contact with the car behind, as Bimbo was trying to get Arthur, but he couldn't complete the move. Nuclear has now been dropped into this unfortunate group of people who he was gladly ahead of. But there has been a collision with the driver who's in 6th place at the moment, who's trying to defend from a very fast and charging AlphaTauri of Bimbo. He has not been in the happiest of places. He was not particularly happy in qualifying, and he has been, because of the safety car, on a back foot. His teammate is currently holding up the flag for AlphaTauri. Tim Bleish has moved past Nuclear in the background into the Ascari chicane. There might be a repass attempt from the Haas driver, who has been doing a great job so far this evening, has moved up some places. Elias has just repassed Loris. There's been a collision. Bimbo! There's been a collision with Bimbo! He has to wait before Phil. Oh no, Bimbo, I just said it. He had a horrible evening tonight. He will drive into the pits, and I would assume he is retiring from this race as a second retiree. That is now, in fact, the case. AlphaTauri only has a single ship in this race to the finish, as we still see Loris and Slinks behind. Elias Kateshi in P5 is still with Leland, and then the next group is Arthur, Tim Bleish, Nuclear, who's already dropped out of the DRS zone. Then it's Blazer, who needs to get some points. He also has a penalty from track limit. Arch is currently behind her. He will drop to P10 if it stays like this. There's Phil, who is miles off anyone. He has 4 seconds in front of him, no one. 7 seconds behind him, no one. He will probably finish in P11 with no major incidents happen in front of him. We see another overtaking opportunity from Loris onto Elias. These two have been going at it for quite some laps now, probably since the start of the restart at the end of lap 9. And they are trying to get the power down out of the first chicane. They are side by side through Curva Grande. This racing, apart from the slight contact and a short stoppage and spin for Loris, has been somewhat great. And there's another rear end collision, somewhat escaped by Loris, but they were very close together. There has been a brief yellow flag. Tim Bleish has moved down places now. Arch is into 7th. He's close behind Blazer, who's now been promoted to 6th. There's been some sort of collision because also Alpha is now into P5. Someone must have spun, but I didn't see who because I'm still on this battle. I want to see Lynx. My guy, you are on 40%. You should save more. These guys have more EIS, and you're the only guy who's not really attacking them at the moment. You have 2 more apps to make it double overtaking, converted into victory. You have been absolutely on it, my guy, and you should maybe try to get the most out of it, because Bahrain and also the last race are not suitable for a race car. There's Arch, who's now repassed Blazer into the Parabolica turn. And there's an outside overtake from Elias onto Loris. He has been a bit rough into the first chicane with his mate in the Alpine, but they will continue to battle. There's a new P6 for now as Blazer moves past Arch. And Tim Blashes into the pits. And Aero is fighting with Hashima. The Alpine just passed Alfa Romeo into the first chicane. Blazers trying to defend from Arch. Yes, stay dead at the moment. Avari is in the no man's land. 5.6 behind Kateshi, 3.2 ahead of Blazer. But he still might be at the receiving end of a penalty. We see that. Oh! And Lynx is off! No! Please, please, the car needs to be okay, my guy. Just finish the race. Kateshi has 6 seconds of time penalty. Aero just received a 3-second himself. Loris is now back into the race lead on the final lap of the race. How's the ERS looking? We got identical, almost identical percentages for both of them drivers. What time is Elias thinking he needs to get this pass done? Because there's a lot of slipstream. You can easily out-traction someone at the end of every corner to make a pass, have an opportunity to pass. Lennon puts in the fastest lap of the race so far. Tim Blash is on a fresh set of thoughts probably as well because he just pitted. There's only one DRS zone left for Elias to make a move, but there are still some kilometers of straight to be there for an overtaking opportunity. He's going to the inside. He's going to the inside. He has passed Loris into the Ascari chicane. Can he keep it in front of the IP now? It's fucking crunch time, my guy. There's another straight at the back here. We need one more corner to decide this fucking epic race between them. They had some contact, some controversy. He's on the outside. Can he stick it around? No, Loris sent it to the inside. He has come across Elias. He will finish the race in front. He has finished the race in front. He takes the win in Monza. He is in first place. Congratulations. Link will continue his epic form in this awfully entertaining race. I'm out of words, I'm sorry. There's also 5-second time penalty now that has been served. Kateshi is into P4. Slinks has completed his run even with that late error. Blazer is into P7. He will be fuming at that. Phil gets P8 after some more collision, it seems. I don't know how he got that. There's a spun from Coolest now. Penny's into P11. Lennon 12. 13 for perhaps. 15 for Hashima. 15 for Soxon with a spin that resulted in a collision with the second Ferrari. Tim Blash is about to finish his lap. He puts in the fastest lap of the race, 20.7. And there's an incident for Tomashev into the parabolic on the last lap. And he's out of the session, and I'm out of words and vocals. Coolest gets the drive of the day. I need a lay down after that. What a finish. I really hope it was somewhat more cleaner for these guys on the track because the legs were somewhat revealing that might have been a dirty race. Slinks takes huge points for Williams. And AlphaTauri probably continues to extend their lead in the Constructors' Championship. We didn't have the standings beforehand, but it's Loris on top in Monza. The Alpine driver has taken it until the last lap. The last turn, Elias decided to go to the outside defense, and he made it a bit easier for Loris to pass it on the inside. It was 40 minutes of pure action, apart from the safety car, obviously. And that might have been the first point finish for Haas as well. Blazer, yeah, he will be not a happy camper. Alfa Romeo take a double points finish, but I think Alfa will probably have something in the has to defend himself against Blazer if there was the collision for him or for them as well, like we thought. Again, because of the legs, very difficult to tell. Kimi and Bimbo the only cars who didn't finish. Bimbo with a late collision, unable to recover from that. I would have tried to make notes during this race, but there was no time in this race where I could really do that. So let's see how the interviews go, if there are any. But I would assume so. Let's give me a short break and intermission screen for you. We are back for driver interviews now. I will pull in our race winner from today. Let's see if it works.
Yeah.
Loris,
Hello.
I welcome you to the interviews now. I want to congratulate on this very epic win and want to pick your brain on what you think about your very long-lasting battle with Elias tonight.
Yeah,
Shay.
thanks a lot. Was quite a good race. My pace was better than I expected. Had yeah, as you wacht even. Wait. Wait, can you interview me a bit late?
Yeah, no worries.
I'm sorry.
All good. Mute yourself maybe then. Okay. Okay. Let's do the second driver then. Just need to know who it is. Where is he? There. Okay. Let's go on with Elias then. Hello, Elias.
Hello.
Congratulations on your second place tonight. That was a very long-lasting battle with Loris. Let me pick your brain on how the last lap was for you. There was an early pass from you into the Ascari chicane, and then he came back into the Parabolica. What was your thought process when the last lap started? Where did you want to try to get the move done as early as possible, as late as possible? What was your thought process there?
I wanted to, get the move done on that second DRS straight, but I thought it would be fine, but just I ran out of ERS and I just had way too much drag, so he had a top speed advantage there, and I couldn't really defend from that. So I guess I couldn't really do much. Um, I tried to keep it clean. It was a good race. It was fun. The race itself was good. It was just I'm disappointed I didn't win that one because I genuinely thought that I could win that one.
Yeah, you and your teammate last time was the first time I watched you race, and obviously with that AlphaTauri, that is still some effort you have to put in to make sure you finish on the podium, let alone in the points. You say he has a top speed advantage. Still the last corner Parabolica, you still decided to go for the outside. Why was there no defense from you on the inside? Probably the better.
I would have probably understeered into him. That's why
Ah,
I didn't
okay,
want to
yeah,
make it.
okay. Didn't
Yeah,
didn't want to have a
it's
collision there.
the car's too understeery for me to do that.
Okay,
I
uh,
prefer an oversteer car rather than understeer.
okay. There was a moment for me, at least, as a spectator, where you collided with Loris and he lost some time. Was that on your screen as well? And can you just tell us what happened there from your perspective?
Yeah, he lost the rear under braking. Like heading into the corner, he just lost the rear under braking, so he was sideways, like in turn one. So I couldn't do much. I tried to avoid, but it's he's like his whole car is covering the corner, so I can't do much about
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, it's some sort of look like you had hit him there, but
it.
the cameras today were quite awful. So yeah,
Yeah,
maybe the game is to blame for that. Um,
maybe.
There have been 3 races completed by now. You had a good lead going after the Japan race. You scored good points in Portugal as well. Now second place. Do you feel confident in going into the next 2 races and maybe gunning for that championship here and even the constructors championship? What are your thoughts at the moment after this race?
So I'm confident. Sorry, my bad. I'm
Okay.
confident heading into the Bahrain race. I think that's one of my best tracks, so I think I have a good chance there. But not so sure about Zandvoort because Zandvoort is um, not one of my good tracks, and the car is just really understeery. So you don't want that in Zandvoort. You want good turn in Zandvoort, so that's gonna be hard. So I think I can go for the win in Bahrain, but I'm not too sure about Zandvoort. But I'll give it my all. Uh, as for the championship, drivers' championship, uh, I mean, who knows? We'll see what happens next race.
Yeah.
I'll give it my best as always. It'll be hard. I mean, it's the car. The car is a limiting factor, to be honest. But I'll try my best. But constructors championship, I think we can do it. Bimpo and I are both very good drivers, so yeah, we can do it. He was also very nice today. He was working well with me. And yeah, nothing more to add.
Okay, then I wish you good luck for next time, and thank you very much for your insights, and have a good one.
You too. See
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.
Okay, let's head into the next interview with. Sling's not here. No. Who is? I need to disable the names here. That's Phil. I don't know who that is. Kateshi is not there as well. Okay, let's go with Coolest then. Good evening, Coolest.
Oh, hello.
Congratulations on achieving today's in-game drive of the day and having a very interesting race. I have to say, there was so much going
Thank you.
on, but I somehow catch some midfield action there as well because some groups are forming. There was a pass for the lead every time. You have been on the back foot there at the start of the qualifying. There was no real chance for you to get out, and then it was a P19 start for you. And after safety car and people pitting late because they had a different strategy and new groups forming, you came out in a good position around P8. There was obviously some contact happening there again, and then you finished in P10. How are you feeling right now after this race?
Pretty happy to be honest. I think that for as long as I'm in Haas, that's probably the only point I'm going to score, unless the future races are even more chaotic than that. But yeah, I had literally zero pace today. In case that wasn't obvious, I was just relying on straight line speed. I learned in qualifying that apparently I had like nowhere near enough aero, and there was me thinking, at Monza you're supposed to have like really low wings. Apparently that's not how this game works, so that was fun. So yeah, out in Q1. So I enjoyed the nice long break. Watched the F1 Academy race, then came back. Skills in mind. And then
Good.
yeah, so my race was interesting because my audio was breaking the entire time. So the formation lap, I was paused the whole time, didn't get to heat up the tires because I was trying to fix my audio. It kept switching off, kept turning my microphone off, headphones off, my mouse would turn off. Basically, my whole PC was exploding. But I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'll fuck it. We bowl. I'll just go with it. And then, yeah, race. I don't really remember what happened for a lot of it, but I started on the hards because I felt like it, and then just went from there. The safety car coming out was like, uh, it wasn't a terrible time, but it wasn't great either. So just had to. I was going into the pits, and then I basically did a Hamilton from Hockenheim and just left at the last second because I had I had errors say to Phil, good decision to stay out. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just gonna stay out at the last second. And then yeah, basically after that, I was just trying to use aero as a tow. I mean, we obviously had everybody trying to overtake me on the restart because I was incredibly slow on the worn hard tires, which I think I did a decent job of keeping it clean, to be fair. I don't know about the people around me, but on my end at least, there wasn't much contact. I never got any damage, so I think it was mostly okay. And then, yeah, like I said, after Aero got taken out, I was just using him to basically pull me along after the pit stops, and thankfully that managed to get me close enough to the top 10 that when all hell broke loose on the last lap, I was just about able to get P10 from Penny, which was pretty good by my recording.
Yeah, fixing the audio while driving 350 kph in a close battle is something I haven't done myself, so
Yeah,
kudos to
dude,
that.
thank you. It must have been like a good. In total, it was probably about 7 or 8 laps of the race that I did with no sound whatsoever, which in a car with traction like the Haas is certainly an interesting experience. But somehow we made it work. Shithouse to P10. Pretty happy with that, to be honest.
Yeah, I think you should be. I'm not so. I'm pretty certain the Haas is not going to fear at home in Bahrain, neither Zandvoort. So you have to make the best when it comes. Let me pick your brain off on the rest of the season. You obviously have a shit car, and this race is probably or was the only real opportunity. If you look at how chaotic this was, if you were in a equal performance championship right now, how much of a confidence boost would a track of Bahrain give you in terms compared to Monza? Do you like the track more? Do you hate it more? What are your feelings on the track itself if you disregard your car?
Yeah, so Bahrain's probably one of my least favorite tracks. It's like my
No.
bogey circuit in league racing.
Okay.
Because it's the first race every year usually, and that means that I'm completely out of practice. So generally, I like no matter where I finish in the season, like I've had seasons where I finished like P2, P3 in the standings, but Bahrain first race of the season, I almost never score points. So I'm gonna look for any excuse possible to be, oh, I'm sick on that day. Sorry guys, can't make it. And then I'll
Okay.
come back for Zenvote because I do like Zenvote, so I want to be there for that race at least.
Okay. That's you. Then congratulations again on scoring that point, and I hope for you the best that you still have a good race next time out despite that waffle car.
Yeah, we pray for we pray for season 6 tier 1 Bahrain where everybody crashes and we get 5 safety cars. In that case, maybe I score points.
Okay.
So, we'll see,
Yeah,
we'll
that
see.
would be something to watch.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed. Okay. Thank you
All
for
right,
your
thank you.
insight
See ya.
and goodbye. Jesus Christ. Okay. No problem. Okay, let's try. Good evening,
Oh.
Soxon.
Oh, okay.
Hello. I
Hello,
would like
new
to.
commentator. I don't know.
Huh?
Hello, new commentator. I do not know.
Yeah. Likewise. That was a very interesting and obviously chaotic race. You had some sort of interesting battle towards the stage where everyone was getting bunched up because of different strategies, and then you had this nice little battle with Trimmer Shave. There was some sort of a collision maybe into Parabolica. Can you let us know what happened there? Maybe there was so much action going on I couldn't watch all of it. So let me get your view on that, please.
Lost it.
Okay.
Yeah, just lost it. I was going to warn Trimmer, but I was still muted, so he could not hear it. That was very unfortunate. And I just want to make the least damage I want to make. Yeah, my race was a bit risky because, as you know, Aston Martin on Monza is slight disadvantage with the high amount of drag this car has.
Yeah.
So my first risk was hope for a safety car, being one lap down on fuel, so I can make some advantage here. The soft start was not intended. I want to change on mediums, but I forgot, and the session has started prematurely. In the end, it did well because in the formation lap I got taken out, so my tires were a bit cold. It got a bit warm during the first lap, so
yeah.
And I had some nice battles, very tense battles, of course, with Kimi or Luis Caesar, as he is named in the game. I just couldn't do very much about my slight disadvantage, and yeah, in the end, that was the collision. And then I thought, should I go to the box or not? If I didn't go, maybe I would have got some points or so. I don't know, or I would have crashed out. I don't know, but yeah. Well, I guess going for double medium or medium soft was not the best decision, so I should have gone to the hards after the safety car. Did not. I really did not think that they will last until the end. So yeah,
Okay.
I guess it's nothing much more to say. Exactly, except the fact with the slight disadvantage was all with P5 was okay, but yeah, I have to see. It's now in Bahrain.
Mhm.
That's also a high speed track. Yeah, it won't be easy.
Yeah, that's true. Just to get one more thought about the qualifying session. In general, obviously the car is not the greatest, but were you kind of on the low end of the downforce, or like did you try to find a compromise that maybe was some sort of reducing your qualifying pace, or what was the your setup intentions?
My setup, my wings were on 7.9, so it was like a time trial setup. Maybe it's a bit too high for Aston Martin, maybe, or maybe it was just okay. Well, it worked a bit in the race, but qualifying, yeah, it wasn't the best.
Okay, okay. Then wish you good luck for next week in Bahrain, and maybe score some points there. We will see about
Yeah,
that.
maybe. All right.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you very
Bye.
much. And then we move maybe to who else has a interesting race. Loris has checked out. I don't see slings. Maybe that's it for tonight. Okay, let me see if I can make this. Yeah, let's get one more in maybe. Phil, welcome to the interviews.
Hello, welcome.
Yeah, there was a lot of action, although you were sometimes in the zone where there was no one around you.
Pretty much, yeah.
There was a very close shootout in Q2. Just let me get your brain on that. How closely matched were you with your teammate beforehand after he just sort of moved you out of the Q3 and some other driver obviously improved, but what were your intentions in terms of the setups? How did you set up your car with this? Yeah, obviously one of the highest speeds achieved here. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically in time trial it's really hard to in qualifying it's really hard to compare with myself and Slings because he's somewhat of a time trial merchant around here. So he's really good on one lap pace, maybe lacking sometimes on race pace, but he improved quite a lot, so it's not really that fair to compare. Setup wise, I have to say I was running basically my eco car setup, which worked really well. I run a more high downforce setup around Monza compared to others. I can sell it. It's 12-8, so 12 on the front rear and 8 on the rear, so that I can get safely through the corners, which is because I have sometimes troubles with the corners, unlike some other people today who really did the funny into the parabolica, which was quite entertaining to see, and which helped me in the end a bit.
Yeah, that's true. There was a lot of there were lots of moves happening after that safety car. You were one of the drivers starting on the hards again. Did you
Yes.
think about any other strategic option when the safety car came out other than staying out? Because we saw that the new hard tires were working despite the overcast weather today quite early on, and people were making moves past you. Do you feel like there was more in it if you have maybe did a double soft strategy or extended a very long medium stint?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Basically, I would say what I did was correct because I don't know if I could have brought those mediums all over the start-finish straight on the last lap. And from what I gathered, even Nuclear Bubble in the end of like the Ascari in the last where he DNF'd into the last lap, I think he had a puncture which made him DNF. So I
Okay.
think it was good that I didn't decide to go into the pits and maybe could have done a bit more. But I say I have brought out of the Williams what I personally can for this race. Monza is also not one of my better circuits, I would say. And I guess points are something that is really good for the current day.
Yeah, that's true. And you and your teammates got massive today, so you will probably be moving past some guys who have struggled to maybe even finish today. So that is some encouraging signs. Although you have to say there's 2 tracks ahead of you that probably not suit your car the slightest. Or what are your thoughts going into the next races? Portugal was also very poor because of the setup.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have any setup in
Yeah,
Portugal.
I know. Maybe not do this for Bahrain, and then we can see you fighting for that P10 again, or what are your feelings ahead of next week's race?
I can't race anymore, unfortunately, for the Realistic Performance Championship.
Are you in Japan, right? Yeah. forgot.
Yes, and on the Sunday I'm already gone, which when Bahrain starts, and then afterwards I'm I'm completely away from my PC. So yeah,
Okay.
I cannot race anymore. So I'm really happy that I thank God could finish out on some points to at least get something for the championship. Um, but yeah, it was really fun, this event. Great organizing by the rest of the admin team as well. I don't really just want to put it on myself
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't do much for the organization of the Realistic Performance here. So I have to say thank you for everyone who organized it, and I'm pretty sure we will see us in season 7 when I will be back, and then also on the new game.
Okay, then I wish you happy travels to Japan and a good and nice stay. And
Thank you.
we'll see who will turn up with you Williams next time out. Um,
Exactly.
Thank you very much for your insights, and see you.
Goodbye, man.
And goodbye. Okay, with that, I would like to close it out now. We're close to starting the Miami race in real life. Congratulations again to Loris, who we unfortunately couldn't pick his brain on about this fantastic battle and scrap with Elias Slings. Even though he made that mistake in the dying moments of the race, he finished in P3 and Kateshi in P4, followed by Arch, Alpha, Blazer, who had quite of a shocker today. Phil, we just heard in P8, Aero stayed in 9th, coolest. P10, followed by Penny, Lelen, perhaps, Soxon, Hashima. P16 goes to Bleich in front of Trimmer Shave, who actually didn't finish the race there, crashing into Parabolica. Nuclear was P18, Bimpo P19, and P20 for Kimi, who had an incident. I would like to show you. Let's see if I can get this moving. Okay, this is the Discord. How do I... What is the plan here? Why it's showing the Discord? Okay, I want to get... Let me get a source here. Very quick. And then I want my first monitor. Yeah, let's see this incident with Kimi.
Fight for my life against Kimi. Watch out, just
My
watch out.
highest is 20.
I'm gonna get them.
He,
This hat.
he just lost the brakes and hit the wall at the entry into the Ascari chicane and has just completely lost it. And then we can watch another clip from Soxan here, where he has lost him. He just spins the car around and Trimmer Shave just hits the back of it.
I was having flashbacks, man.
And there was no way to go for the Ferrari. They were just 2 tenths apart. He loses it on the exit. No damage done to his rear,
I was having
but that was probably Trimmer Shave's race in the mud now. With there only will come some laps left at the end there, and that was basically it from that stage on for the Ferrari driver. Yeah, that is now the conclusion of tonight's event. We've seen another huge step towards the end of the championship. We got race 4 out of 5 next time out in Bahrain, 7 days time. Follow this channel to see this as well. Watch out for the LRC to race next season in 2024 and continue the journey with season number 7. And if you enjoyed this, thank you very much for watching and have a good one. See you.